Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 51 of our Local to Global with the Canadian Wrestling Coalition. Now, I don't really think there's anything we actually need to go over, apart from the medical injury. Just want to reiterate, James Diaz, out with a broken neck for 1 year, 3 weeks, and like I said in kind of the last 2 episodes as well, hopefully that injury isn't going to ruin his career as it potentially could. Anyway, if you didn't watch the last episode, I kind of did an episode 50 special where we went through the CWC history, and then of course we went around not only our current company and the creative meeting, merchandise, size, bit of the broadcasting, stuff like that. But of course we also went over all the other big companies in North America. And we had a little look at Burning Hammer there as well. But basically, we don't need to go over anything. So let's just start advancing into the Go Home show. Now, obviously with Diaz out, we are going to essentially be without one storyline. Was obviously the monster versus mutant, with Diaz starting to transition to becoming a bit more of a heel, a bit more of that sort of big monster that he actually is. So that's not going to happen now. Potentially will happen when he comes back, but I mean, that's at least got to be about 24 episodes, even more, 26 episodes away, essentially. So that's a long time. That's a long time without Diaz. And he was literally our best up-and-comer. So we're going to need to, I guess, find someone else to kind of replace him in that up-and-comer role. And I think there's one person that really stands out and comes to mind, and that's Jack Jackson. I feel like he essentially has everything that he needs to sort of come forward and be that Diaz, I don't want to say replacement, but the replacement in the fact that he could be the, shining prospect that we're trying to push up into the main event. Anyway, we do have the contract negotiations. You might have forgotten about this with that impromptu episode, but we have now actually signed LA Star, who was being sought after by TCW. Now with that, what I think I want to do is sign LA Star 1, and then we essentially have a brand new tag team in our division, which will be really cool. We also have Julius Moore here, who would be a pretty good option to bring in as well. He's very over across a lot of regions, but he is 35, so maybe we don't go for that. I don't think we really kind of don't need anyone else on our roster that's not of like top quality. So I don't think we don't need to go for him, basically, what I'm trying to say. But like I said, we do need LA Star 1, I think it was 1, the one we were missing. So let's grab him. And there we go. I think it would be a great idea. We got his tag team partner in, as you would kind of expect. And he'll actually be cheaper because, well, at the moment, nobody's actually going in for him. So we could potentially just get him for 15k for the next 10 years without any sort of bonuses as well. It'll be pretty cool. I'm not sure which one's better. We can have a look at that once they both come into the company. But like I said, it's going to be another tag team. We do need, I feel like we did need another tag team. We might even need another tag team still. I feel like we are a little bit short on tag teams, but I think we do have a lot of good quality tag teams. And of course, we are, we've got tag teams that we're also not exactly utilizing properly. With Papa Swole, Public Enemy, I think they probably deserve to be maybe next month's #1 contenders. I feel like they've been around. They haven't really done too much. They've maybe been contenders once, but I would like to potentially give them a proper run out. At least a proper challenge, should I say, where they might actually do something special. Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting tag team as well. Anyway, we've got Mick Muscles, 48 years old, still wrestling, surprisingly. Obviously, 48, probably not going to sign him. Definitely not, I should say. Anyway, here we go. Let's get into the show now. I do have a main event in mind, which we'll get into in a second. But we've got Gabriela Ortega entertaining the locker room by organizing a poker tournament. And then we've got the mentor-protege between Bowd and Snoop. And luckily, Angry Gilmore has passed on his microphone work to Bowden this time. And of course, as we know, Angry Gilmore is essentially one of the best talkers we have in the company. Of course, this show being the go-home show, we're going to go into Ottawa. And let's start booking. Actually, let's jump back in. Maybe do some meddling. Let's try and get Davis and Kavanaugh together. Yeah, no effect. They still have their hatred, which is bad. But, you know, it is what it is. And they are in a current feud together as well, don't forget. So, what I want to do for the main event is we're kind of going to be kickstarting next month's storyline for this month, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Logan take on Mutant in the main event. And this will be for a bit of revenge from what happened. Again, in kayfabe terms, we are essentially blaming the broken neck onto Mutant, who got involved in the Aldous Blackfriar James Diaz match on the final show of last episode. Not last episode, the episode previous to that one. And I guess he maybe pile drived James Diaz through or onto the concrete outside the ring. I feel like that would be a pretty good kayfabe way of, writing someone out. So that's going to be a little bit of revenge there. We might also have a match angle to follow that as well. But what I want to have on the rest of the show is I want to have Mobstar taking on Zombie Boy. Just for 12 minutes. And again, we can call this match, which is pretty good. Of old Zombie Boy's scatterbrain. And again, of course, non-title match. I then think I want to go with... Yeah, I think I wanted to go with a 6-man tag. And basically want to throw together Giant Brody, Matt Hocking, and one member of... Where are they? The Rock City Stars. So I guess we can just go Stan Manor, essentially. Seems like a bit of an impromptu team, but it'll kind of make sense in a second. And they will be taking on John Greed. And he will be teaming up with the Moneymakers. Should be a pretty good match overall, I would assume. And I think we will actually give the win to Brody there. So it's a pretty big win. I think Stephen Parker can probably be the loser in this one. So let me just chuck that on there. Stephen Parker to lose. Hopefully he'll take it. Otherwise we might have a problem. No, he'll take it. He'll take it. All right. What else are we going to do? Maybe Zeus taking on Mighty Kavanaugh. Did we already do that? I feel like we already did that. Maybe in the first week. He defeated Diaz, but I don't think, he didn't verse Zeus. So I think what we'll do is we'll just have a one-on-one Zeus Maximilian taking on Mighty Kavanaugh. Again, this is kind of just giving Kavanaugh a little bit more. I guess we'll just go 10 minutes with this one as well. Just giving Kavanaugh a little bit of momentum going into their match. And again, trying to keep him somewhat happy. I suppose it could be tainted as well. A nice cheating victory there. Without making Zeus look a little bit weak. I don't really want to do. What I then want to do is have Gilmore take on Charlie Corner. And we're going to have a botched interference in this one by Maddie Faith onto Charlie Corner. So it will essentially be a tainted victory here as well. With a botched interference finish onto Charlie by Maddie Faith. Kind of like that finish as well. Seems pretty good. We've got a lot of singles matches here tonight. We should probably do something with a bit more sort of tag implications. Maybe we just give another victory to the crew. Again, they're not really in a storyline. So maybe we just have them take on Los Hermanos 2. Because they're kind of the weakest team we have, I would say, at the moment. Even weaker and red, white, and blue. And that's kind of saying something. So give Public Enemy the victory because he does have that lower popularity. And should be pretty good, this one, I think. I might chuck that in between there. So I think we'll kick off the show with a Maddie Faith angle. I guess let's have Gilmore on camera, but he won't speak. I know you might be saying, well, you know, that seems a little bit silly not to have one of our best talkers not speaking, but it is, again, the angle is Gilmore passing the torch. So we want to see what Maddie Faith can do. But that will advance their storyline. Hopefully get it nice and hot before the pay-per-view, because I would like a decent match out of those two. They did pretty well. And hopefully they can do similar sort of rating again. I then think we want to have Davis come out with an angle himself. Be funny to have Kavanaugh actually road agent that. But Davis will do that before. I guess we can actually have Davis and Zeus together. That would probably make a decent amount of sense. So have them both together, the Golden Goats. We then want an Aldous Blackfriar angle onto Mobstar. I would kind of like this post-match. So let's see if we can maybe angle it up. I think we can actually. We can get it in there pretty well. That'll be post-match. The main event lets us go with Logan by himself, and that'll be him kind of addressing the whole Diaz injury. And then we've got 6 minutes left. So I think what I might do is have Aussie Goldstein cut an angle onto Logan to kind of finish off the show. I know we're about to go 2 minutes over, but I want this match to be hot, or at least the storyline to kind of be up there. I think they both can do a decent job. I might script it just to make sure. Otherwise, we might run into a bit of an issue. I might actually make this one go all out as well. Don't know why. Let's just, test the water and see how good Mobstar can do. And then Los Hermanos versus the crew can be our storytelling. And we should be good to go. All right. So let's quickly, I know I said I was going to try and push Jack Jackson, but let's go a tag team match here. We'll go with Jack, and we'll go with, I guess, Cooper. To take on Maddie Faith. And where is he? There he is, Rockin' Ryan Turner. Give them 12 minutes on the pre-show. Faith no more. Maddie obviously picking up the victory, and I think I'll have Cooper take the loss as well. Just so I'm not really too fussed about Cooper anymore. The fact that we found out that he has the very low resilience, not a great thing to see. Not a great thing to see. I think I want to save the LA Stars. I want to save their debut. So we have to wait for number one's contract to come in. Potentially could come in at the pay-per-view. So I guess in this match, let's go for not Cooper. Let's go for Zach, and I guess he can just take on Aldous. Wouldn't be a terrible match either. And hopefully, like I said, well, like I say every time, he'll get a little bit of rub off as well, potentially making him get that little bit better in his psychology. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Let's run the show. I know there's no sort of Gary Walker stuff because he was taken on Zombie Boy, but you know, their match, it's for the mid-card title. They'll have something. They'll have their match anyway at the pay-per-view. Even though we haven't really focused on that storyline in particular too much. It is the mid-card belt, so it doesn't matter as much as some of these other, I guess, bigger storylines. Anyway. Okay, well, we kick off the Go Home Show pre-show with a 73 rated match where we have Aldous Blackfriar defeating Zach Powerson in 11:35 by submission with a Gloomweaver clutch. Good match, 83 from Aldous, looking really good out there. Happy with that. And the second pre-show does a little bit better. We get a 76 rated match in this one where we have Maddie Faith and Rock and Ryan Turner defeating Jack Jackson and Cooper Christie. So Faith No More taking on the Frat Pack in 11:47 when Maddie Faith pinned Cooper Christie with a leap of faith. And yeah, Maddie Faith head and shoulders above everybody else. Actually, Jack Jackson being the weak link in this one, which I find pretty interesting. But yeah, Maddie Faith with a 79. The guy is getting really, really good. He has literally... Well, he hasn't taken a back step since we brought him in. He's just like skyrocketing almost, like straight up there. All right, we then kick the show off with a Aussie Goldstein. This is supposed to go after the main event. Anyway, I forgot to move it, but it can make some sense. I guess like it's a modern TV opening, a war of words between Goldstein and Logan Wolfsbane. You know, they have been going at each other for the last few weeks, with Logan essentially saying that he's not impressed by Goldstein at all, and basically he's going to try and use him as a stepping stone towards the unified world title. 77's pretty good though. It's an okay way to open the show. I guess, looking at this rating, I'm kind of glad I didn't put it post-main event. So there we go. Alright, we then go into another angle. This one, obviously, our opening contest is going to feature Angry Gilmore. So he comes down to the ring, and then we have Maddie Faith cutting an angle after Gilmore is ready to go. And yeah, gets a 91. That's how good Maddie Faith is at the moment. He's that good. That's without Angry Gilmore being rated on anything. If he was rated, it might have broke 100. Well, not broke 100, but hit 100 at least. Which is very surprising. And another victory against Gilmore at the pay-per-view. Going to do big, big things for Maddie Faith. I mean, he well could be our next number one contender. That's how I'm kind of viewing him at the moment. All right, we then go into the match. It's a 71 where we do have Angry Gilmore defeating Charlie Corner, of course, a member of Faith No More, in 10-10 by pinfall with a sky-high elbow following a botched interference by Maddie Faith. So Faith trying to get involved, but ended up costing the match there for Charlie Corner. But I guess you can maybe say, you know, he might have botched the finish, but he also got in a little bit of work at ringside onto Gilmore, trying to soften him up, and then of course Charlie was trying to soften him up as well. 71's pretty good for Charlie Corner though. I'm happy with that. Alright, we then go straight into tag team action, getting a 51, where we have the Crew defeating Los Hermanos 2 in 9:44 when Public Enemy pinned Louise Frost with a Tombstone Piledriver. There we go. Louise Frost has a gimmick that's getting stale, so I'll try and remember that. I mean, I do have my piece of paper. I probably could write it down. You know what? It's Louise Frost. I don't really care. All right, we then go into an 84 rated angle from the Golden Goats, as we'd kind of expect. They don't really... Well, I mean, Zeus being involved wouldn't really warrant like a 90 plus rated angle, whereas Davis probably by himself would. but it's still pretty good. 84. And of course, Davis is trying to hype Zeus up before his match against Kavanaugh up next. That match actually does really well. Surprising. We get a 77 rated match where we have Mighty Kavanaugh defeating Zeus Maximilian in 10:25 by pinfall while using the ropes for leverage. Cheating to win. It's the only way you could do it against Zeus. And you'd have to say, the fact that he couldn't get a pinfall victory clean kind of puts everything into doubt going into his pay-per-view match against the GOAT. If he can't beat Zeus clean at 46 years old, probably not going to beat the GOAT, even though he's in, really bad form. Wow. That's an interesting one. I don't know what happened there, but I think that might be our 4th best ever match. Okay, we get a 92 rated match for a random 10-minute match thrown together with no storyline, nothing. A 92. But yet, Logan and Davis only managed to get a 79. Anyway, we have Mobstar defeating Zombie Boy, of all people, in 10:27 by pinfall with a flattener DDT. 92 rated match, not the main event either. So that's not great, because it's definitely going to overshadow. But yeah, Mobstar and Zombie Boy had pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. So I guess in theory, we can probably use this as a match to go to again in the future, really. But yeah, we got a 90 in-ring there from Mobstar and a 66 from Zombie Boy. And like I said, I think that's our 4th ever best rated match. 4th highest. Wow. Okay, moving on. Unexpected. We then go into a 91 rated angle. This time we have Aldous Blackfriar addressing Mobstar, saying that, an impressive performance. But at the same time, he says, you only struggled to beat Zombie Boy, who is essentially one of Aldis's dark minions, he calls them. I don't know, dark minions. It doesn't sound great. Kind of sounds like a kid's movie. But at the same time, it's kind of what he is. I guess dark disciples would be a better way of describing him. Along with Mutant and, of course, Original Sinner as well. Yeah, yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is it gave the storyline some heat, which is very important going into that main event again. We want to keep this storyline as hot as possible as we approach the pay-per-view. All right, we then go into that big 6-man tag with a lot of storyline involvement here, getting a 77 as well. So overall, this is looking like a pretty good show. Just hope that the main event can at least pull an 85, I would say, to really make this a top quality show. But we do have Giant Brody, Matt Hocking, and Stan Manor defeating Wall Street Enterprises, John Creed, Stevie P, and Jackpot Jordan in 11:46 when Giant Brody pinned Stephen Parker with a single-handed choke slam. It's a good match. Really good match, but yeah, unfortunate for Wall Street Enterprises. Couldn't get the job done. And one half of the tag team champions actually suffering a pinfall loss. All right, we then go into an 82 rated angle. And of course, this is Logan Wolfsbane addressing the crowd, talking about, his cousin, James Diaz, and the fact that he puts over the fact that Mutant was the one to break Diaz's neck. And, the fans are visibly upset. They got some genuine hatred, and Mutant finds himself with pretty good heat coming from the crowd. Diaz was definitely the fan favorite up-and-comer, and everybody was kind of looking towards him as how would I say, the brightest shining light on our roster in terms of, youth and prospects, I guess. We have a lot of prospects, but he was definitely at the top of the list. Anyway, here we go, the main event. Okay, you know what? It's not a great rating, but I'm actually not that upset about it. So we get a 78 for the main event. But as you can see here, Logan and Mutant don't seem to click. So we got some negative chemistry there. Kind of understandable why why it wouldn't be above 80. Without that negative chemistry, definitely above 80. Probably an 82, 83, somewhere around there. So not as good as I wanted, but again, Mutant isn't exactly over. And I mean, Logan's still getting the psychology penalty from his gimmick. But in the end, we did have Logan Wolfsbane getting a little bit of revenge, defeating Mutant in 1949 by submission with a Boston Crab. Yeah, so it's a big victory there, main event victory there for Logan on TV. And we finished the show. We get an 83, so it is a good show. But obviously the 92 rated match between Zombie Boy and Mobstar, had that been the main event, potentially would have been a little bit better. And again, we had the angle. So we had the 92 rated main event match with a 91 rated main event angle post-match. Would have been very good. Would have been very, very good. Anyway, increased our popularity in 50 regions. We're still affected by limited number of viewers in those 5 US regions, which, it sucks because we're no longer sort of growing in the US. But at the same time, we're still growing in the region that matters for us at the moment. And of course, that is Canada with our broadcaster. All right, what do we got here? LA Star 1, there we go. All right, we've got both of them in now. Perfect. We can actually have them debut if we have the time. I mean, they can debut on the pre-show as well. Not a massive issue. Anyway, we get a 0.93 TV rating, just over 700,000 viewers on our broadcaster. That's pretty cool. Obviously, the rest, so the other, 340,000 viewers are being shown on OnDem. So over 1 million. Quite a bit over 1 million, actually. So that's decent. CWA, still smashing it as per usual. We've got the Mob defeating Mikey Lau and Christian Price with a 99 rated main event. And then we had Brooke Tyler defeating Lauren Easter by DQ, pulling a 96 in their semi-main event for an overall of 95 for their TV show rating. Anyway, it is what it is. I also will set up a gimmick change for Jack Pride, so we can try and do that sometime soon as well. I mean, we've progressed a little bit this month. Hopefully the pay-per-view will give us another couple of points as well. Gonna take a quick sip of water here. Alright, so that was a good go-home show. Again, really unexpected with the Mobstar Zombie Boy match. Didn't really expect that, if I'm being honest. But what I'm looking forward to here is obviously all this taken on Mobstar. That's guaranteed a 90 plus. Hopefully it'll actually do better than their previous match. It'll be interesting. It'll be touch and go between the two matches. Obviously, this one kind of has potential to be worse, or it could be better because both their popularities are seemingly a little bit higher than they once were. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see. The storyline should be at a pretty hot level, to be honest. Anyway, let's add both our pay-per-view broadcasters, and let's also add the Coalition Network there as well. So this is that big test. And Diaz is the only person missing, so that's perfect. We can indeed do Kavanaugh taking on Davis, which is a very important match. And again, we'll be able to do a little bit of praise for Kavanaugh. Just try and keep him around. We did want to job him out. I didn't want to upset him too much, but obviously he's got hatred with someone else in the company now as well. Okay, so let me go black screen real quick, and I'll book the main event. It's going to be a pretty interesting one. Let me just leave it there. I don't want to say too much about it and give too much away. But basically, Mobstar taking on Aldous for the Unified World title. Again, it's only going to be 20 minutes because what we've kind of found out is any matches that are over 20 minutes, depending on who's in the match, they do have a potential to do worse than they otherwise might do. This one's going to be special. It's going to be very special, very interesting, and hopefully going to set things up to be pretty good over the coming months, I would say. So let me just double check that before I book it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. All right, we can come back. There we go. So there's the main event. Interesting outcome. All will be revealed very soon, but I think you guys will probably enjoy it. It's just a really good way to, like I said, set things up for our future for the next few months. All right. So what else have we got? Let's do Gilmore and Maddie Faith, because that's a pretty easy one. We already know who's going to win this one. Spoilers, it's going to be your boy Maddie Faith, the true up and comer, I guess. Been talking about Diaz a lot, but this guy is something special, and I literally can't believe that I wasn't even going to sign him back in the day. That blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Up next, let's go for Logan and Goldstein. This one's another pretty interesting one. I need to try and make this one a little bit hotter. I don't really know how, and it's not going to be great because Goldstein has morale issues. I should probably check who has morale issues and who doesn't. But obviously it's not going to be a great night for Goldstein anyway. As we're kind of booking the emergence of Logan Wolfsbane, or the re-emergence, I should say. Let's do the tag titles next. Kind of finishing off our sort of triple threat storylines. We do have the Rock City Stars taking on the Moneymakers one last time. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be a good match overall. These boys, they know each other well. They're very talented. And I'm hoping for an 80. If I get an 80, I'll be extremely happy. And honestly, I actually believe that they're all capable of doing that. Oh, no. We're going to do it anyway, but it could... Yeah. That's unfortunate. It really could suffer from a repetition penalty. One of those things, it's going to happen. We've booked these 3 tag teams together so often. So often. Anyway, up next, we've got the big grudge match, I guess. Davis, the GOAT, taking on Mighty Kavanaugh. Maybe the Donkey, will give him a nickname. Yeah, I was just going to play a little game with you there, pretending that Kavanaugh was going to win. But he definitely is not. There we go. Clean, decisive victory. And we are indeed going to have... Yeah, that's hilarious. Kavanaugh is unhappy at the booking of this match when the GOAT, Davis, a former 3-time Unified World Champion, is going to beat him. He has 10 more popularity. Actually, he has like 14 more popularity. 16. He has 16 more popularity in Ontario. I'm literally going to have to keep him strong, otherwise he'll quit the company after the show. So, there we go. We'll keep him strong. There you go, Kavanaugh. Enjoy. What an arsehole. Anyway, moving on. I think we have 2 matches left. We got the tag team match between Princeton Price, John Greed, and they're teaming up to take on Giant Brody and Matt Hocking. So, get these ones in. John Greed and Giant Brody. Okay. This one again was kind of a little bit impromptu, so I might just give it 12 minutes, to be honest. And then I think I want to have Princeton win with Hocking losing. I think I want to try and push Princeton as a bit more of a heel. So I think he can potentially either take on Hocking or maybe Brody in another storyline going forward. So yeah, I think that we'll go decisive with it, but it will, it's not a clean cut match. Let's just say that. And I might actually make that our storytelling as well. So that can go there. And then finally, we finish off with the Canadian title match between Gary Walker and Zombie Boy. I mean, Zombie Boy coming off that big match, a 92 rated match. Of all things, you would not expect Zombie Boy to be involved in that type of match. Let me just say that. Can't believe it. Anyway, if he manages to pull something off, if he manages to be involved, if him and Gary Walker pull off a 90 rated match here, I'll put the world title onto Zombie Boy. I'm throwing that out there. I don't want to do it, and it would ruin the series. Well, kind of. It'd be like a Vince Russo booking deal, with Zombie Boy essentially being the David Arquette to WCW. Anyway, that looks pretty good. Let's do angles, and then I might add one extra tag team match in. So I think I'll go Mobstar onto Aldous for this one. Actually, I guess we could just go both, to be fair. We'll go both. I think having both is potentially a little bit better for the storyline. Or it could be worse, actually, because they're both unscripted. If we were to get some sort of penalty, it could come back to bite me in the butt a little bit. I'll go Aussie Goldstein again, this time with Logan off camera. I'll give a little bit of success to Goldstein because obviously he will be taking the pinfall, so I want to help him out a little bit. And again, we really want to try and get that match just a little bit hotter. That little bit hotter. Up next, we'll just go Davis by himself. Got to give the man some room to breathe, say his piece. Up next, I mean, I kind of just want to go Angry Gilmore, and I mean, they're all just kind of basic angles, to be honest, and that they just need to be. Both guys on Entertainment, Angry Gilmore, Matty Faith, both getting success, unscripted as well. Should be 100. I would like to see a 100. And I don't see why it wouldn't get a 100, to be honest. Alright, so I think we can do one more angle. And then I'll be able to get away with another tag team match on the card. So I might go Gary Walker, to be honest, because this storyline in its own hasn't really done anything too much. So I think this is kind of good. Just go Gary Walker by himself. He'll be able to get the match over, I would say. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Got 20 minutes left. So what I think I might do is just have a number one contenders tag team match, and it's going to be a ladder match as well. Go a fatal 4-way tag team ladder match. And we're just going to throw in some of our teams here. So let's go with Young and Wasted. Unfortunately, they won't be winning. We've got the Crew, who essentially will be winning. Papa Swole. I need to write this down. Actually, I'll go Swole, Goldstein, and Kavanaugh for praise, I think. Because I know for a fact that those three are actually... Oh, we need to go back. Need to add them as a team. Completely forgot. LA Star 1, LA Star 2, the LA Stars. Welcome to the company as our newest tag team. There we go. All right. LA Stars. And they have 100 experience as well, which is massive. Perfect. Okay. I mean, they're multiple time champions as well. They're actually the current New York City tag team champions as well. It's pretty hilarious, but anyway. So I think we'll have this match actually kick off the show. I don't think there's not really any better way to actually open the show than a fatal 4-way ladder match, tag team ladder match. But let's go to So let's go the Crew, LA Stars, go the Northern Lights, and then we'll go Young and Wasted. Some real quality in there as well. So we'll go 13 minutes, work the crowd. Should be really good. It really should be good. A good opener anyway. Okay. Alright, what's our problem? Referee? Oh, they're all being used too much. Okay. Might actually have to reduce that back down to 10. 11. Alright. So they're all being slightly overused. We have Monton doing too much road agency. So let's, I guess, go with... Who's better? I think Kavanaugh actually has, like, the second best psychology. Let's have a look at Doc and... 77 for Doc, and then Kavanaugh is, I think, 79. 85. Okay, his mentals are all really... They're all in the blue. He's actually a really good road agent. I almost didn't realize, but there we go. Okay, so there's the pay-per-view. Now, the reason why we had such bad morale issues previously is because we left off a lot of guys on our roster. I think just a nice, cheap way of getting everybody on. We'll just go like a 15-man battle royale. And we're just going to throw in pretty much whoever's left that I actually want to use. Let's throw Chip in, throw Cooper in, throw Graham in, Jackson. Gonzalez can go in, Patriot can go in. Mutant, again, can go in. He's not really doing anything. We'll give Jack Pride his new gimmick debut. Willie LaRue can go in as well. Sono. Zach kind of needs to go in there. I would put Zeus in there, but... You know what? I'll put Zeus in there. Zeus can go in. There we go. 12 minutes on the pre-show. Don't really know who to give the victory to. Maybe Mars Patriot or Zeus. Give it to Zeus, and then I'll go runner-up for Mutant. And then we'll go finalist being Graham Gorman. Graham's probably going to complain. And Patriot. With most eliminations, once again, I think we did this recently, last pay-per-view. But Mutant will get the most eliminations. And there we go. Alright. Hopefully no one's going to complain. Perfect. Alright. There we go. What else have we got left? Who else have we got left? We don't really have anyone, to be honest. I mean... Let me just we'll chuck in a tag team match. Let's go with Los Hermanos taking on Pepper Pelton and Zippy Deverell. Never mind. Let's go Zippy Deverell and Blue Dragon. Pepper can just not be involved. How about that? Alrighty, I think we'll actually give the victory to the team of Zippy and Blue Dragon. I think I actually want to go Blue Dragon. I think he has more upside. There we go. Just try and get his momentum back a little bit if we can. Probably not, but it doesn't matter too much. Alright, there we go. That is the show. That is the pay-per-view. Everything changes. Our first pay-per-view of 2024. I'm nervous, but let's run it. Alright, so we start off with a 43 rated tag team match where we have Blue Dragon and Zippy Deverell defeating Los Hermanos 2 in 11:56 when Blue Dragon pinned Louise Frost with a Dragon Driver. Interesting finisher, but I like it. Pretty good. It's an okay match between 4 literal jobbers. They're all jobbers there. Zippy probably has the most popularity out of anybody. But him and Ray getting the... Actually, Ray actually has a decent amount of popularity as well. Alright, we then go into our 15-man Battle Royale, getting a 66 rating, which is actually not terrible. But we do have Zeus Maximilian bouncing back from the loss against Kavanaugh. And he won the Battle Royale in 11:53. The other members of the Final Four were Mutant, Graham Gorman, and Mars Patriot, with Mutant being the runner-up. Mutant also getting the most eliminations over the course of the match. Really looking like a decent monster in this one as well. There really isn't anyone else that's kind of that big sort of super heavyweight or big heavyweight like he is. And yeah, let's handle some changes here as well. Oh, perfect. All right. So Jack Pride's cocky youth gimmick getting an initial rating of great. It's even likely to rise over time. And again, no penalties, no cons. Really happy with that. Even though he was really off his game, that new gimmick is going to potentially help him out. I think his last gimmick was poor. Had a poor rating. So that's good. Chip Martin really off his game as well. So unfortunate, but they're not really being used at the moment. All right, we then kick the pay-per-view off live for the first time ever on the Coalition Network. We kick it off with a tag team #1 contenders ladder match, getting a 65 opening rating here. Where we have the Crew defeating the debuting LA Stars, Northern Lights, and Young and Wasted in a ladder match in 10:50 when Papa Swole retrieved the item. We got LA Star 1 debuting the Hollywood Star gimmick, getting an initial rating of great, and then LA Star 2 getting an initial rating of very good. So two pretty decent, gimmicks coming out of them as well, which I'm very happy with. LA Star 1 penalized in lengthy matches, and LA Star 2 easily marketable and gives a small boost to charisma. So that's okay. I mean, LA Star 1, they're probably not going to be used in like long tag team matches for quite some time. Primarily, they're going to be used on TV anyway, so it'll be like 10 or 12-minute matches, depending on, who they're versing and whatnot. So not too bad, but yeah, #1 contenders, the Crew. I like it. All right, we then move into a 95 rated angle. This one coming from both Angry Gilmore and Maddie Faith. And again, they were both unscripted, rated on entertainment. And yeah, they pull a 95 together. It's pretty cool. Of course, Maddie Faith, I think he got, a 90? Got a 91, I think, on the last show, didn't he? So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of in between 100 and the 91, being 95, so it's kind of expected, actually. That's not too bad. The Gilmore effect probably boosting it up a few points. And yeah, Faith was superb, working without a script. And he essentially says that he's going to beat the old man tonight, and Gilmore isn't really going to know what's hit him until after the match when he's taken a loss. That's pretty good. We get an 80 rated match between these two guys, and we do have Maddie Faith pulling off another big upset, defeating Angry Gilmore in 9:37 by pinfall with a leap of faith. So a clean victory there for Maddie Faith. Biggest victory of his career on pay-per-view on the Coalition Network. Beating a former world champion as well. Big stuff there. Big stuff. And a highly rated match as well for 10 minutes. All right, we then move straight into our tag team action. Interesting. We get a 72 here where we have Princeton Price and John Greed defeating Giant Brody and Matt Hocking in 12:28 when Princeton Price pinned Matt Hocking. Frustrating that the finishes still don't seem to be working. I did update it in the editor, but I guess maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't actually change it in this save file potentially. Anyway, Giant Brody seemed off his game, so that's a downfall. And then yeah, both Brody and Hocking don't work well as a team. Didn't we already use them in a tag team match together? Maybe we didn't. I guess we didn't, but yeah, because I didn't get any sort of chemistry warning between those two. Anyway, it's still a 72 rated match. I'm pretty happy with it. And again, it was essentially just to give all four of these guys something to do. And again, continuing the Greed Brody storyline. But I think what we'll do now is we'll move on. We'll have Princeton Price going against Giant Brody. And this will sort of be like our upper mid-card top storyline, if you will. With one of them potentially having the chance to move up into that main event slot the following month. Anyway, we then move into a 96 rated angle from Gary Walker. He's got the entertainment stats, but I kind of wasn't expecting him to get a 96. Anyway, he's a very, very handy mid-card champion for us to have. And he did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd as well. Great stuff there. And the match, it's no 90, but as you can see, he also has pretty good chemistry with Gary Walker as well. So that could have been a bit dicey. Anyway, get a 73 together, and we do have Gary Walker defeating Zombie Boy in 11:44 by pinfall with a pants pull sunset flip. Gary Walker making defense number 2 of the CWC Canadian title. So yeah, the pretty good chemistry, the same that Zombie Boy had with Mobstar, could have potentially pushed this up, but I don't think with their current popularity levels, they weren't ever really going to get to a 90 rated match together. So I think we were pretty safe. Although Zombie Boy, can't say I didn't give him a chance to become the next unified world champion. Anyway, good mid-card title match. I think that's like one of our first ever 70 plus rated mid-card title matches. So that might actually be our best ever Canadian title match, I think. Anyway, good stuff. We then move... Oh, that sucks. We then move into a 79 rated angle from Davis. But in true GOAT fashion, he struggled without a script to follow. I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again. I should probably be scripting Davis Wayne Newton. Many, many times has this, sort of screwed him over in the past. Luckily, I didn't actually put Kavanagh in the angle, because this would have ruined the heat the two had as well. So positive I didn't do that. Anyway, the match it's also really good between the two. Now don't forget, Kavanagh has bad morale issues, so he's going to get a penalty for that. And then again, he's also going to get penalized, or the match is going to get penalized for the fact that I kept him strong in this one as well. We still pulled off an 83, despite that. And we do have Davis Wayne Newton, the GOAT himself, defeating Mighty Kavanagh in 1952 by pinfall with a fisherman's suplex. Great stuff. And again, the GOAT's redemption storyline starts. It kind of starts here. He's got a big victory, pay-per-view victory over a fellow main eventer, if you will. And yeah, 93 in-ring performance. Hopefully this will boost his popularity back up to the 87, which I think would be pretty decent for him to be at again. He's 86, going into it. But hopefully it'll do enough to get him back to his, peak. Yeah, it's a good match. Happy with it. We then go into our Coalition Tag Team title match. And unfortunately, it does suffer a repetition penalty. We only get a 64. I was hoping for an 80. But again, the fourth match recently between these two teams, and it's definitely affected the rating there. But we do have the Moneymakers defeating the Rock City Stars in 20 minutes 3 seconds when Jackpot pinned Rock and Ryan Turner with a Make It Rain. The Moneymakers making defense number 2 of the CWC Coalition Tag Team titles. Yeah, it's a good match. It should have done better than a 64, but it is, as you can see, the fourth time this match up has been done recently, and it needed to be better. So that penalty coming in there, which sucks because it was the kind of penultimate match between the two teams. Also suffered from a lack of heat as well. So once again, we get that penalty. Beautiful. Okay, we then move into another pretty poor angle, to be honest. We get a 71 from Aussie Goldstein. Of all people, I feel like Ozzy doesn't really struggle off script. But as you can see, he was very poor when trying to improvise. So that's I think the worst penalty you can get from an unscripted angle. Yeah, so penalized for improvising badly, very badly, and then low morale for him as well with his morale issues. So I'm not thinking this next match is going to be too crash hot. Should be okay. As you can see, the storyline lost heat, and that's kind of the story of Logan's career at the moment. Yeah, there we go. It's only a 77 rated match. I was hoping for an 85, but I mean, in theory, It probably should have got at least an 83, 84. But there are a lot of things going against this actual storyline. We do have Logan Wolfsbane defeating Aussie Goldstein in 20 minutes 10 seconds by submission with a Boston Crab. And yeah, the 77's not great, but again, it's not the main event, so it doesn't really matter that much. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the dirt sheet here. So yeah, low morale, and yeah, just the storyline's low heat and the lack of heat from the storyline. So without those, even with the low morale, it probably would have got about an 84, I would say. Anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully the main event will save us yet again. Okay, that's looking good. We go into a 98 rated angle from both Mobstar and Aldous Blackfriar. And as you can see, they both did pretty well without scripts. We had Mobstar working the crowd well, and we had Aldous improvising well throughout the segment. 2 points away from a 100 perfect rating. Hopefully, we get a 90 plus rated main event here. Please, come on, boys. This will be big. Okay, it's a little bit worse than their last, encounter, which I find a little bit interesting, but at the same time, an 88 is still pretty good. I think that's our fifth. I think it's our fifth best match. Anyway, in an exceptional match, we have Mobstar defeating Aldous Blackfriar yet again, the second time in 20 minutes 21 seconds by pinfall with a flattener DDT, following interference from Logan Wolfsbane. Logan got involved, essentially costing Aldous Blackfriar the chance of darkness across the coalition. And we have Mobstar making defense number 3 of the CWC Unified World Title. Big match, big ramifications coming out of it as well. This was essentially supposed to be the crowning of darkness for Aldous Blackfriar, and forces of darkness were about to take over. But as you can see, Logan, not forgetting what happened to his cousin with that broken neck, appears to be targeting the forces of darkness. And like I said, this match is essentially going to set up, in one way, a massive storyline going forward. So we finish off with an 88 rated main event. Overall show rating, also getting us an 88, which I'm actually very happy with. And as you can see, we would have gained popularity in 8 American regions this time, but now growth is limited in all of those regions. Again, still increasing popularity in 10, which is mostly Canada at this point. And again, we already know who we're praising. Aussie Goldstein, Kavanaugh, and Papa Swole all got pretty bad morale issues there. So, well, Kavanaugh has terribly bad morale issues. Hopefully, that'll drop down a little bit. Although he did take a loss on the pay-per-view. I'm expecting it'll do something. He might go down to like the medium level, just the normal morale issues, hopefully. Anyway, what do we got here? Tom Townsend is a color commentator with 82 color commentary. He's also a Canadian, and he's also working for CWA. Interesting. He's got the party animal, which is not great, but also not terrible. Anyway, I think we're going to go in for him. Let me just double check. I think we have like 72 for our color commentator at the moment, which is Grace Harper. So yeah, she's going to get the boot, I think. Or Grace. But I mean, we essentially can't pass up an 82 rated color commentator. Especially taking him away. Even though it's going to be expensive, taking him away from CWA. Going to be very expensive. Very, very expensive indeed. I might not go 10 years. Let's go 3 years. Because if somebody else that's better comes available, I want to sign them as well. I don't want this to go on for 10 years. Probably not a great option. But he's also getting 20%. Okay, so we got the top offer there. Not too bad. All right. We got Logan, and he thinks Zach Powerson has poor ring psychology, is not worth keeping around, apparently. I mean, he's 100% right. He does have really bad psychology. But that's kind of the thing we're trying to improve, Logan. And then he's going to be the Hulk Hogan of our company. Anyway, here we go. So this is where it gets interesting. This was kind of the test. So everything changed. It was shown on pay-per-view, but it was also shown on TV with our Coalition network. So we got a 0.83 TV rating, 627,000 viewers. We had 926,000 overall, which means we got a buy rate of 0.59, which is 298,000 pay-per-view buys. So, go to history. Go to final chapter. I mean, looking at both of those, it's about the same. That's just over 300,000 buys. Yeah, as you can see there, 301,000. So we're only 0.01 buy rate lower. Is literally 3,000 people, 3,000 buys. And with all the extra money we potentially just raised in other viewers watching through the network, and the actual viewer coverage being big in Canada, I think we benefit from actually running not only on our pay-per-view carriers, but also our own network. I definitely think that's the way we're going to go. So I think that was a pretty good experiment overall, and it looks like it will actually benefit us a little bit more than I thought it would. I thought it might have damaging effects, so pleasantly surprised that it's positive. Anyway, we are up to 80 popularity in Ontario. Can't believe that, but somehow we're at 80. We started at 0 and we've got to 80 popularity. Crazy stuff. Anyway, 65 in Quebec, 62 Manitoba, 49 in Saskatchewan, got 42 in Alberta, 34 the Maritimes, and then British Columbia still struggling behind at 29. Pretty bad. Anyway. Alright, so Goldstein still has morale issues. Princeton has morale issues as well. But it looks like Papa Swole has lost his, I think. Yeah, Papa Swole is all good. Okay, but unluckily, Kavanaugh still has big morale issues, so don't really know what to do there. Anyway. Alright, we also got a user point as well. 50 successful shows. Okay. Not sure if I should maybe have a little bit of a think about that, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not really too sure what I actually want to do in that regard. Part of me wants to maybe put it into negotiating just to potentially, you know, save ourselves a little bit of money in the future once we try and go for these really big talents. But I mean, at the same time, it could be a bit of a struggle. Yeah, we're not going to switch players. Anyway, let's have a quick look at a few things. I want to have a look at the titles first of all. So we're still at 58 prestige there for the Canadian. Looks like we're up to 45 for the tag team. One ring to rule them all. Obviously not active at the moment. I think we're already at, yeah, we're already at 73 for the Unified World title. That's looking good. Mobstar's now got 3 defenses, which I think is, you know, it's pretty respectable. Pretty respectable. Not exactly sure how long his reign's going to go for. Probably not too much longer, but I want to try and keep him a little bit strong. Anyway, want to have a look at a few things. Obviously, the first being Angry Gilmore. He's dropped down to 76, so I think he lost at least 3 points of popularity from that loss against Maddie Faith. We also have Aldous Blackfriar up to 85, which I don't think he was already at. He was at 81 at the start, so he gained 4 points of popularity this month as well, in a losing effort as well, should be noted. Who else? So Davis, still at 86, which is unfortunate. Gary Walker at 53. He had a really good angle. Gained 2 points with the angle and his subsequent victory as well. Who else have we got? We got Logan. Logan's at 85 as well. I don't think he gained anything. Yeah. Did not gain anything because, I mean, honestly, that was kind of a bit of a lackluster feud between him and Goldstein, to be honest. And it's kind of unfortunate, really. Here we go, though. The moment of truth. Matty Faith up to 75 popularity. That is insane. 63 at the start of the month. He gained 12 points of popularity in 1 month with 2 victories over Angry Gilmore. That is insane. He's gone from what was like 41 or 42 when we brought him in. I think it was 42. We brought him in around August. Gained 4 points his first month, 4 points second month, 7 points a month after, only gaining 1 extra point there. And then going up to 61, which is +3. And then this month, well, I was looking at the wrong region there, but yeah, going from 63 up to 75. Mental. Anyway, this is interesting. Very interesting. This is the highest popularity we have ever seen. And it is from our current Unified World Champion. 89 popularity on Mobster. That's 2 points higher than the 87. That was our highest ever popularity from both Gilmore, Davis, and what was Mobstar. But he's now eclipsed that even higher and finds himself at 89. Talking about taking the title off him, he's now our most over superstar or wrestler we've ever had in our company. I don't know what to do now. We kind of can't take the title off him, really. And I mean, if we do, it literally has to be like our best ever match we've ever had. Otherwise, it's wasted almost. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Anyway, who else have we got? We've got, I mean, Goldstein probably didn't gain anything. Yeah, 78, 78. Luckily, he didn't lose anything either, I guess. Princeton got a win. He's up 1 point. That's not terrible. And I mean, honestly, that's kind of about it, really. I mean, Zombie Boy, how many points? He's probably up nothing, to be fair. He's up 1 point from the 92 rated match. Okay. Well, there we go. That's pretty much the end of the episode, guys. If you smash a like if you haven't already, I would much appreciate it. It does help the videos out. And I just want to say, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I know a lot of you are subscribed that watch this series. Please make sure you have the notification bell turned on as well. And again, we are super, super close. I feel like it's been at 9.99 for like the last couple of weeks. If we can get to 10%, I'm going to put it in a video once we hit it. And I'll be super happy, super chuffed. And I'll be loving life. So make sure you turn the notifications on. And of course, you'll be notified when these episodes come out in the future. Apart from that, I think it's just up and up for the coalition. I think we're literally, we are breaking to new heights. Highest popularity the company's ever seen. We've also got the highest or the most popular worker we have ever seen in the company as well, in Mobstar. And let me show you his popularity to finish off the episode. 89. 89. Let me advance one day real quick. Let's actually check how much money we made. And then I'll end it for real. Alright, what have we got? And again, next episode we'll try and steal away that color commentator from CWA. looking forward to that as well. Even though it's going to be very expensive, but so be it. Anyway, I really want to check out this finance real quick here. Just to literally see how much money we've made from... Ooh, we've only got 1 month left. And Solomon Gold has also left CWA as well. Not that I'm really interested in that, but we do have a negotiation here. I'll do this real quick. Damn, they're going hard. Up to 46. They went from 18 months to 42 as well. I mean, that's like 48,000, I guess. Oh, still has a better offer. I mean, I'm literally just going to go up until he kind of accepts it, I guess. Which is really bad for the old finances, isn't it? This one's going to cost us a lot. I'm only going up by 1,000 because I really don't want to go too crazy. We are literally going to have to pay about 60 grand, I think. Okay, oh, that's only to get it up to level terms. 54. It's 9,000 more. Damn, I have to go bigger. Who knows when another solid color commentator is going to come available to us. I'm breaking the bank. I'm doing it. 60 grand. Still only one of 2 offers, man. That's insane. We're at 62, 64. I'm just shaking my head because this is crazy. All right, we're literally at 70,000 now. Okay, 70,000. The magic number, eh? I mean, he's got the popularity as well in Canada. Okay, well, finances. So we lost 1.8 million, but think about it. We paid $5.2 million for our broadcaster that month. So we recouped, quick maths, 3.4, we made 3.4 million this month in profit. Obviously, we didn't actually get taxed anything because we're in a loss. So in turn, that's actually pretty good because obviously we kept an extra 800,000 compared to what we would normally be paying in taxes, which is pretty cool. Then you look at the broadcast revenue. This is where it gets interesting. 367,000 up to 872,000, right? We have sponsors, obviously sponsor directly correlated with our popularity. Pay-per-view revenue slightly down. Kind of a lot down, considering what it was in November. But there is a reason for that. That is our current economy starting to fall down. I think what happens when the economy goes down, the obviously pay-per-view income, broadcast income, sponsor income, all starts to slowly fall down with it as well. Now, luckily for us, the wrestling industry in Canada is rising. Over in the US, they're both rising as well. So far, so good. It's looking okay. We're going to make money no matter what. I'm not really worried about that. It's more just the fact that the popularity, especially in the US, is kind of a big problem for us. And again, we should have gone for a very big broadcaster and, to upgrade that again. I looked at it last episode. Over 8 million just to go up in size, and it only would have cost us an extra 2. So we've essentially robbed ourselves out of $6 million by not doing that the best way possible, which is really frustrating. Anyway, it is what it is. Not going to worry about it too much. I enjoyed this episode. I think it was pretty good. Had a solid main event. Had a 92 rated match. Let me actually go into the top 100s. Yeah, it's literally our 4th ever best match, which I can't beat. I can't believe beating out Davis versus Angry Gilmore, which got us a 91 back in the day. I mean, that match in itself kind of seems like a bit of a distant memory, to be honest. I miss that type of stuff. Anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, that's the end of the episode, guys. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.